Hello everyone. So today I'm talking about crystal healing for pandemic fatigue. Pandemic fatigue is a real thing. It's experienced as an overall feeling or an overwhelming feeling of weariness, of exhaustion, especially emotional exhaustion, and a soul tiredness. And of course, this is as a result of the worldwide pandemic. The economic effects of it in terms of the shutdowns, and also the massive stressors that we're dealing with from the disruptions in our daily lives. The reality of our daily lives just changed for some of us pretty much overnight and very dramatically. And then of course we've got people who are fighting to keep their businesses going and open, parents who are faced not only with the multitasking of parenting and working, but also having to educate children, and in many cases, or in some cases, also having to be caregivers for elders. So all of these disruptions to our routines, the stressors, the fears and uncertainties that we're also coping with on a daily basis, whether it's career or job or income loss, whether it's fear of being sick and also or getting sick, and the fear of or uncertainty of what's coming next. All of these things, coping with this on a daily basis, like we all have been, is draining. It's draining to us emotionally. It's draining to us mentally. It's draining to us energetically, which then, of course, is also going to impact us physically. So if you're feeling any of these things, or the emotional reaction to these things, which could also be feelings of despair, depression, anxiety, trouble sleeping, even physical symptoms manifesting like sore eyeballs from staring at screens all day, but also coping with all of the emotions. I would like for you to know you're not alone. A lot of us have been feeling this. A lot of us have been experiencing this. Me, myself, I crashed pretty hard. Second half of August, I had to take as much time out as I could anyway, because I'm also a small business woman who takes care of a family. But I'm trying to work on bringing my energy back online as well. So I feel you, and as a community, we need to help carry each other through this. We need to help take care of each other, and also find ways that we can provide extra nurturing and care and energetic support to ourselves. So that is the purpose of the video today. I've got some different crystal combinations and some practices that I'm going to recommend to you, and they're simple, because the last thing anyone needs when they're feeling tired is to have some kind of 10-step protocol in terms of having, trying to get them back online and give them back energy. It's worth it, but it's like, oh my God, by step 5 you're just so tired you can't be bothered. So the first combination I'm going to recommend working with is citrine and green aventurine. The reason I'm showing such small crystals here is to try and give you guys sort of a gauge as to the size, recommended size for wearing crystals. If you're wearing crystals throughout the day, you can wear smaller sized crystals that are working on you more continually, and of course it's also more practical and more comfortable. But citrine and green aventurine are great for restoring vital sources of chi, vital sources of energy in the body. They're refreshing, they're revitalizing, they're optimistic in their energy. Green aventurine works very powerfully with the heart chakra, and citrine with the solar plexus chakra. And those are two major power centers for us, both in terms of core personal power and physical power, as well as emotional. And so these can be very restorative for you to wear at this time. And also, just so you guys know, I have a blog article version of this video. So if you want to click the link, it's at the top of the description, and go to the blog. It's all written out there for you. It's easy to reference. I've got some additional recommendations that I make in there, but you can also see bigger pictures of the crystals. Now, Now, I mentioned depression and despair, and of course, I'm referring to feelings that you're having in reaction or in response to the pandemic fatigue, as opposed to if you have like an ongoing issue that's being addressed professionally with medical professionals. But these feelings of fatigue, will lead to feelings of feeling down, feeling despair, feeling a lack of hope. And of course, when we're down like that, we can just keep sinking, and it continues to feed into like a negative or a fearful mindset. So I recommend moonstone and I recommend rose quartz. And the benefits of these crystals, first of all, most people who are into crystals will have these crystals, and that's part of the reason why I keep a lot of my recommendations simple, so that it's accessible to most people. So moonstone, again, we've got that loving, nurturing goddess energy. We've got that energy resonance that helps to raise our frequency, but does so in a way that is gentle, that is inspiring, that is opening, and helps to shift our perspective. And then we've got the rose quartz, which again is also that nurturing energy, especially for the heart, especially for the emotional self, especially for that loving energy that we need. And again, you can wear these crystals, whichever combination speaks to you, on a daily basis, and then just clear them every night. Find a simple way to clear them. For me, the simplest way to clear my crystals is to place them on selenite every night, and then make sure that I recharge my selenite once a month under the full moon, and that works very beautifully. Sore eyeballs. I mentioned sore eyeballs, and I've been feeling this, and after talking with a couple of friends, they were like, yeah, we're feeling this too. So here's something very simple, just a small piece of selenite. If you have like a small piece of selenite, 2 would be perfect. Just lay down, close your eyes, and just place that right over your eyeball and let that sit there for about 10 minutes on your eyelid, 10-15 minutes. Believe it or not, it actually helps to make a big difference, because selenite is great for pain. Selenite is great for relieving tension, and of course all this soreness, unless you've got something physical health-wise going on, is likely a result from staring at computer screens, staring at phone screens, being awake longer, crying. All these things will make them sore. So placing just a little piece of selenite like that on the eyelids, 10 to 15 minutes, take a time out, can help to ease the soreness there. So now stress and anxiety. Well, we had that before, and now we have it more. And so these, again, really heavy feelings. And, part of the thing of what happens is when we get really stuck in, first of all, when we're tired, it's really hard for us to take care of ourselves at all. And that's part of the reason why I'm recommending just wearing crystals to start bringing your energy back online and to help you cope, because it's really the easiest way to work with them. You can also sit and hold them. And you don't even need to be meditating if you don't want to. You can fall asleep in bed, lying in bed, just holding crystals in your hand. And at some point, your hands will let them go. When your energy has had enough, even if you're in a deep, deep sleep, you may even find you wake up the next morning and you're still holding them. That can happen, and that shows you how much your body needs that energy. You can hold them while you're watching TV or while you're on a meeting, a Zoom meeting, if you don't need to take notes. So there are ways that you can very simply integrate working with these crystals into your life, again, without having to go through any kind of big sort of onerous setup. So black tourmaline is excellent because black tourmaline helps to neutralize lower harmful frequencies. And oftentimes we talk about black tourmaline in terms of protection, but it's also a very purifying crystal in terms of its energy. So all that heaviness that you're feeling inside, black tourmaline can start transmuting that into higher frequency, lighter energy, and help to start neutralizing some of that feeling. Blue lace agate is always one of my big recommendations for anxiety, for stress, because it helps to bring us back into center. It helps to calm and cool and soothe how we're feeling. It also helps us to bring things into perspective, and that can be very, very difficult when you're in fear, when you're anxiety, because these are very powerful emotions. Just because something might be quote unquote lower frequency or negative does not mean that it still doesn't pack a punch, that it still doesn't have a lot of energy. And so sometimes we really just need kind of that third party energy to come in and start disrupting the narrative that's going on inside of us in terms of what we're feeling, where we're thinking, and to start shift that into a different, healthier place. And blue lace agate is a wonderful crystal. So again, a combination for that. Last but not least, burnout. Feelings of burnout. And I don't doubt I've been hearing this from some health practitioners. I know that certain illnesses or things that were dormant are starting to come up for their clients, or they're also seeing a lot more thyroid. They're also seeing, a lot more adrenal. And again, this is not about, oh my God, more horrible things are happening. It's just our bodies trying to respond to all of this taxing and draining, emotional energy, and all this change and all this stress. It's a lot for us to physically cope with as well as emotionally. So for burnout, if you're feeling like really heavy symptoms of burnout, I recommend wearing or holding ocean jasper and chrysocolla. This is a power combo that I teach a lot in my Pro Crystal Healer program, because it's very restorative. But it's restorative in a gentle way. Sometimes we think, oh, I'm low on energy, so I'm going to go for one of those super, maximum energy crystal power punches, and really rev up my energy. But the thing is, if your nervous system is already taxed, if your adrenals are already working over time, that influx of energy can actually make you feel worse. It can actually work against you because it can be embodied as another stressor. So these gentle, flowing water element crystals help to replenish, help to restore vital energy that can help support adrenal health, that can help support your body as it's trying to come back online energetically. And then a final combination that I'll recommend, and I write a little bit more about this in the blog, is for those of you who really feel like you're getting trapped in your head, you're getting trapped in that negative thinking loop, and it just feeds. And then of course the stress level goes up, the anxiety goes up, which then feeds the negative loop, and it becomes this like vicious cycle. There's a crystal combination that I recommend oftentimes to help with that, and that is hematite and amethyst. Hematite is like an anchor. Boom. It grounds us, it brings our energy and very quickly back down into our bodies, which helps to pull us out of that vicious cycle, okay? Helps again to disrupt that narrative, that story that's happening in your head. It brings you back down into your body. It brings you back down into your power, and it helps you reclaim and regain sort of the fortitude and sense of conviction you need to shift your perspective, to shift how you're thinking, or to find other ways, and Amethyst is also a ward against negativity. Amethyst helps to calm and quiet, those voices of anger, those voices of anxiety, those voices of fear inside, and sometimes, especially, when our shadow selves get engaged, it's like that will feed off negative thinking too. It helps give us the clarity and space of mind to pull back from that, to question that, to ask ourselves, is this really true? Is this the only option? Could there be other ways? Are there other possibilities? How can I see this differently? How can I respond to this differently? Can I make a different choice or take a different action? It helps to give us that space to consider. So again, if you're finding yourself really kind of caught up in that, just grab hold of these crystals, hold them, take a few minutes to breathe, and start questioning. Develop a curiosity, start questioning those negative thoughts, the negative, programs that are running in the mind, and ask yourself, some questions to help lead yourself out of it. So that's the video. I do hope that it's of service to you. Also on my blog, I do have a couple examples of crystal healing layouts that you can do on your system, placing crystals on your body to help provide yourself some nourishing, loving, healing energy. So for any of you who feel like you'd like to give yourself a crystal healing session, because it's not that hard, it's just a matter of which crystals to choose and where to put them, and I've solved that for you on the blog. You can go and check that out. So again, I hope that was of service to you. Please take care of yourselves, guys. I know that we all need positive change. I know that we all need rest and upliftment. But I do believe that if we do energy work to help ourselves ground more light, come more into center, more into alignment, more into a place of care, it creates that space within for change, which then begins to create the positive change outside. So let's hold that vision and take care of yourselves. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the blog. And if you want to check out more of my work and also more of my free resources, please go to my website, krista-mitchell.com. So thank you and blessings to you all.